Welcome back to Now. The shelter, a transition home and a safe house for victims of domestic violence. They're hosting their annual charity golf tournament on January 30th. And to tell us more about this event, we welcome Natalie Black-O'Connor, who is the event coordinator, and Sherron Harford, who is the vice chairman of the Trinidad shelter. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Morning to you, Penny.
Let's start with you, Sherron. Just tell us a bit about the shelter, please.
Penny, thank you so much for this opportunity. And good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. The shelter was opened in 1987 by Diana Mahabir Wyatt. And starting from a property that had no electricity, no windows, no doors, she took, I think it was 6 or 7 ladies up with coolers and mattresses, that we now have a fully functional holistic healing center where our victims come to us after they have either decided to go to the police or to go through one of the other opportunities for safety, 1-800-SAVE through the PM's office, etc. Then come to us, and where we try, and so far I have to say, without actual data, I think we've been pretty successful. And we don't say we don't say survivors, we say thrivers. We try to take our ladies and their children to being able to have and to do exactly what we would want for ourselves and for our children. To be safe, to be able to be financially stable, to be able to be a positive reinforcement for their children, an example to them how to grow up. So we offer a full service, everything that our ladies and their children need, we try to do. However,
what's the capacity of the shelter?
The capacity now is we could, in fact, have 21 people. But because of COVID-19, it's a very fluid situation. We are now operating at 50%. Anytime we take in a new resident, they're tested and they're quarantined. We have a meeting on Thursday evening, our monthly management committee meeting, where we will be discussing with the Ministry of Health again if there can be any changes to how we actually house our ladies and their children now, because there is a greater demand now.
I was just about to ask that if you're seeing a changing trend given the pandemic.
Yeah. Yes, we are. We are seeing a changing trend, and something that I would like people to be aware of is a gender-based violence, domestic violence. It is not always intimate partner violence, and it is not always physical. There's violence between siblings, there's violence between parents, grandparents, and grandchildren, because sometimes, as we know, grandchildren are living with grandparents. Sometimes single mothers are bringing up their children at home with their parents. There's financial violence, where there is the financial control is to a point where you basically are a slave. And that is most of the time from a partner or a family member. There's emotional violence. So it's not just, yes, it is very, very common that on a Friday night it's Trinidadian men who feel they have the right to raise their hand and pelt a cuff because it's not what they wanted for dinner, or because they've had too much to drink, yes, or because they've had to bring money home for the children, rather than have that other drink. So that is by and large the greater number that we do see. And we have recently, this is the 3rd time it has happened, that we have seen ladies coming in their last trimester of their pregnancies, coming in and needing a safe house. And I don't want to go into the details. Everyone knows why they come to us. And it's an abhorrent situation. And it is something that has been ignored. It's been ignored for years. Yeah.
And thank you for that expanded definition when you think about what domestic violence entails. I'm sure it must be difficult given the pandemic situation in terms of raising funds, because we know that people have lost jobs. Some people have been on reduced salaries, and it must be difficult. This is your annual tournament. Did you hold a tournament last year? Were you able to do the tournament last year? No. So again, you're even now in a more critical situation.
Yes, we are in a more critical situation in terms of our fundraising. We do have some very, very loyal corporate and private sponsors, and some very loyal friends like Natalie Black-O'Connor, who every year does her very best since inception for our golf tournament to be one of the best that the country has. And besides it being an absolute pleasure to deal with her, her professionalism, her reputation enhances our golf tournament.
Yes, well, Natalie certainly is a pro, well known in the area of event coordination. Natalie, what can we expect? Can I play? I don't think I can't play golf, but I know I could hold it and pose with it. Is it open to persons like me?
Of course, it's open to everyone. I mean, it's going to be a fun event. I tell people, even if you're now picking up golf, or we have teams. It's two people, so you have, it's not you by yourself. So it's going to be a team is of two persons. So you have a great time. It's in case people want to know, it's a 2-ball, better ball, stable FUD tournament, right? I mean, tournament, and yeah.
How much is it to enter?
It's 2,500 a team.
And you're looking for how many teams?
So I'm trying to aim for between 30 to 40 teams. 40 teams would be fantastic.
And how are you going to manage
so far we're getting a good, pardon me?
Go ahead.
I say, so far we've been getting a great response, Of course, as you rightly said, it's COVID. So we do have some sponsors that have fallen off, but then there are some other sponsors that have come on because of the cause,
And how are you managing it given the pandemic, Natalie? I take it, well, because it's an open tournament, it becomes easier to manage given the COVID-19 protocols that have to be observed?
Right. So before we used to have it at, it was a 12 noon shotgun start. Now we are doing it where the golfers must follow all the policies, like the washing of the hands upon entry, the mask. But we're doing it where tee time starts at 8 a.m. and 2 teams will begin, and every 10-minute intervals, another group will start. So it'll start, probably from 8 a.m. and until about 12:30. We'll have teams going on.
And they're great prizes to be won, I understand.
Great prizes to be won. Hampers, lovely hampers by Angostura, Hadco, Amco, All Italian, and there are some appliances, C. Italian, Crash. Best dressed, of course, we always give a best dressed by mailing. So, great prizes, lots of prizes as well.
Okay, well, we wish you all the best. Please support the shelter, their annual golf charity tournament. Sherron, Harford, and Natalie Black, thank you for joining us, ladies. Best of luck with the events.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. It means a great deal to us.